You see your picture in like a newsletter or in a commercial or in a flyer and you're like, yay, that's exciting, but they didn't cut a check. Happy Vlogmas. Hey y'all, it's Kimberly K, come to you guys with another video. So I missed yesterday's Vlogmas. I was going to do a live today, but I did the live and no one showed up. So where were you at? Hello internet fam, I love you, but where were you? So what I'm gonna do in today's video, I wanna make sure I didn't, I put a video up. So what we're gonna talk about today is being an influencer and then contracts. Why not make a valuable video during Vlogmas? But I really just didn't want to miss another day, so I couldn't think of anything else to do because I have some other content coming up very soon. But let's talk about it. Sources of income you can make as an influencer. I'll talk about the non-traditional ways first. Where when I say non-traditional, it's like not as advertised as like sponsorships. Everyone knows about that. But what you can do is you can actually create content for brands that you don't have to post on your social media platforms. Yes, influencers do that. So for instance, you may see an influencer in an ad, in a commercial, in a newsletter, and they should be charging for that. Charge for those usage. Okay, that's your usage rights. So we're gonna throw in a contract term. You should charge for that usage of your content. Because think about it like this. I say this all the time. You see this blazer. It's cute, right? I'll leave a link below. But so if you see me in a blazer as opposed to somebody random, you may take a double look because you see me in the blazer. That double look is my usage, my likeliness. That's why the audience is now going towards the blazer, and that should be charged for. So it's similar to how brands under some Instagram content, they'll put, hey, I love this photo, type yes, so you agree to the terms and conditions, and then we'll repost your content. And then you're like, oh, cool, yes, oh my God, it's like a big brand I always want to work with. But then you see your picture in like a newsletter or in a commercial or in a flyer and you're like, yay, that's exciting, but they didn't cut a check. So like, is it really exciting for you knowing that you're missing out on thousands of dollars? I say no. Okay, I'm feeling really goofy today, so this video will be kind of goofy, but I do hope this is valuable information. So with that being said, charge for the usage rights. That's also something you should negotiate in your contracts. Did my heater really just turn on in the middle of me recording this? Hold on, wait. All right, we're back. Also, you want to be clear where exactly these images are going. Yes, of course we want to charge if they're going somewhere and you're not posting on your social media for your usage. You want to charge for that usage and for your likeliness and all of those things, but you also want to be clear on the terms as far as where the content will be posted, just so that you can know, and then also so you can charge accordingly, okay? So I may have a different charge if someone wants to use it in a full print ad as opposed to them just wanting to like add a sponsored little ad on it for social media. Either way, I'm charging, but like it's gonna determine how much. So don't be afraid to negotiate that type of thing. Negotiate what? Negotiate that type of thing on your contracts. Also, another way that influencers can make some additional income is using the skills that you use to create your content as a freelancer. Let me break it down. So if you make YouTube videos, guess what you also are? A video editor. You may not be that great. It's okay, sis. We're working on it. But if you have experience doing any type of video production, whichever step that you actually participate in, whether that's creating the thumbnail, creating your banner, video editing itself, anything that you do that for your brand, for your content creating process, is a freelance job for someone else that may not have that knowledge. So that's an additional way that you can make income simply by you just being an influencer content creator and knowing how to do the process. Go on Fiverr. I've used Upwork. That's how I found my campaign manager. She is phenomenal and amazing. I love her. And you can go on there, create your profile, whether you're looking for someone or you're trying to be the one being hired. You can put your different offers on there. So don't be afraid to really sit down and write down your skills. Check out my entrepreneurship series. Specifically the first video, I talk about the skills and how you write it out so you can determine like where you're going in your business. So here we go. Influencer turned business owner. Boom, using all your skill sets that you already do as an influencer, as a creator, to now form your business and make some additional money. Don't say I didn't tell y'all, don't say I never told y'all nothing. But let's talk specifically about contracts. I just want to drop a huge in there so you know that there's not only one way to make money as an influencer. It's not just about Google AdSense, even though that's why I recommend YouTube platform, because Google AdSense is a winner. Okay, there's nothing better than uploading a video, getting a lot of views, even if it's not that many views, as long as you get enough to make, you know, get over that $100 threshold. There's nothing like a few extra $100 in the check, or like 1,000, depending on where you are. Amen and amen. But yeah, so aside from Google AdSense, aside from just brand deals and sponsorships, those are some other options that you can make money. So honestly, I think the creative space is growing. It's so new. It may seem old to some of us. Like, I've been consuming content and watching YouTube videos for years, okay? But it's still such a new industry, and there's still so much space for new creators. So I say, if you're interested in it, jump on it, okay? I also offer social media consultations. I'll leave a link below if you guys want to check that out. Feel free to email me if you have any questions, comments, and concerns, and I can clear up anything. I want to make sure the services are perfect for you and to provide you actual value. So, but let's get to these contract terms. Okay, so I did another video. I'll leave it in the cards, and I'll leave it down in the description box below. If it's not in the description box, it will for sure be in the cards. So check that, wherever that may be. So exclusivity is huge, and I talked about it in that video, and I have to bring it up again. Exclusivity means, hey, my name is Cameron, and I'm hiring you, Samantha, to promote my blazers. That means you cannot work with any other companies that sell blazers. That's too general. Do you know how many companies sell blazers? I would need to be much more specific. Let's say I'm specifically located in Birmingham, Alabama. How ironic. And I do not want you to work with any other clothing brands in Birmingham, Alabama. That's a lot more specific. But even more specifically, if I'm like, I don't want you to work with business A, business C, business F. You can't work with those. That's even better. That's the goal. Exclusivity should be very, very clear terms. If I'm working with Apple, they might not want me to work with HP. It makes sense. They're competitors. You don't want to work with competitors. However, if a company is asking for that type of exclusivity, you should be charging. Because think about it like this. If I allow Apple, I'm just using that as an example. Apple, if you want to sponsor me, it ain't nothing but a word. But if I allow Apple exclusivity for 60 days, that's 2 months, HP may reach out to me between that time. So because of that risk factor or that potential payment that I may be missing out on, that's why I charge the additional fee for the exclusivity. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. I feel like that's clear. Comment below if that makes sense. Essentially, once you have your rate as an influencer, and I know that's a whole nother topic, comment below if you're confused about how the heck you should charge, okay? That's a learning process as it is. Again, new industry, it's still trying to be worked out. But generally people say charge 4% of your audience. Gotcha. So once you have your rates, then you can now charge additional fees for additional terms of your contracts. That's basically what I'm trying to say. Exclusivity, usage rights, licensing fees. Let me break down the licensing real quick. So essentially, let's say I work with a photographer and they take my photo. Not only would I need to make sure that our terms and conditions are clear between me and the photographer, because technically they own the license, they own the usage for that photo because they took the photo, but go ahead and get a contract, a quick little agreement, a contract, even if it's in the email. Emails are legally binding as long as the agreement is clear. Just make a contract, it makes it easier, even if it's just a quick little Word document. But don't be afraid to, sign an email agreement if you need to. But as long as those are clear, you want to make sure you own the license and the usage for your content. So then if a brand reaches out and wants to purchase that for a temporary time or even perpetuity, which you should be charging at minimum 5 figures for perpetuity use. Let's just put that out there. Especially if it's a broad use where they can use it for digital and non-digital purposes. Have I done this every time? No. But learn from my mistakes, do better than me. In 2021, we're coming for everything we deserve, period. Got a little sidetrack. I went off on a perpetuity tangent, but it's important, okay? Forever is a very long time. Forever is so long. Basically, imagine working with a brand and then paying you every single month forever. You want that coin, okay? And then they could blow up and then your photo could go viral. I don't know. So you just want to make sure you're charging your worth, period. So back to the licensing, you just want to make sure you own the license. You're giving the brand a license to use your product, you want to charge for that too. So there's another charge. We got exclusivity, licensing, usage, and then of course it could be adding on additional content, whether it's content posted on your social media versus just posting on their brand social media. And here's another little pro tip. So smaller creators, even bigger creators, honestly, say you're on a PR list or even you're buying products or you're using products around the house, which I recommend if you're starting out, start to create content with the products you already have around your house for the freebie to show these brands that you can create the content. So then by the time you want to pitch a sponsorship or they reach out to you about a sponsorship, you can say, hey, already have this content that I already created for you. It's dope. I love it. It's exclusive. My audience loved it. Da, da, da. And then they may say, you know what? I just want to buy the license and the usage rights to use this photo that you've already created. It's genius. It's genius. Oh yeah, licensing is going to allow a brand the use of your copyright, likeliness, etc. Usage is going to determine how they're going to use that license and your likeliness. That makes sense? I hope it did. It makes sense in my head. A lot us lawyers will talk and ramble on, and know you guys are like, what the heck is she even talking about? Don't be afraid to leave me some comments. Y'all know I love to kiki in the comments and help y'all out. Another important element of the contract is payment, compensation, okay? Money, money, money. Okay, you want to make sure your terms for the payment and the compensation are very, very clear. But let me give you a pro tip on that. Let's imagine this scenario. You create your perfectly curated content, okay? I mean, the content is amazing. You walk through all the steps you need to make sure that the brand collaboration goes perfect. You follow all the guidelines that they provided in their brief. You just, all the T's is crossed, all the I's are dotted. You post the content, engagement is through the roof. It's going great. The brand's excited, you're excited, everything's great. Net 30 just hit because you just posted the content live. 30 days later, still didn't get paid. 31 days, still no payment. 32, 33, you see where I'm going. That's too many days. But lucky for you, in your contract, you made sure to add a clause, provision, agreement, whatever you want to call it. A provision within your payment terms paragraph of your contract that states the following. Company agrees to pay influencer 5% of the fee per day past the due date. Don't say I never did nothing for y'all. Don't say I never did nothing for y'all. Not only will that make the brand more likely to pay you on time, because who wants to pay 5% of anything else I already agreed to paying you per day if they're late? But that helps to ensure that you're comfortable going into this contract, especially if you've never worked with them and you're like, listen, y'all aren't accepting 50% up front. By the way, you can do that too. You can say pay 50 now and then 50 later. Because the 50 now can help you create the content anyways. This 5%, that's the key. That's the key. It's gonna ensure that you feel comfortable, that you feel protected. And then that if the brand does want to act like we ain't paying on time, they can now pay additional. So not only do you send that lovely email, if you see my Instagram on a reel, I actually just posted kind of like a quick little snippet of how I would address a brand in an email if they did happen to drop the ball on payment. And then you can also say, further, see attached for my updated invoice. Hope to hear from you soon. Per the contract, you've agreed to pay 5% of the fee for every day you have missed the past due date. Thank you. Okay, I'm joking, but seriously, that's a major key. Also, you want to make sure there's a provision within your contract that discusses termination, whether that's you, material breach the contract, them, mutual. You want to make sure that's all clear. But yeah, I have contract templates if y'all want to check that out. I'll leave a link down below. No pressure. If you have any questions, you already know you can reach out to your girl. But I think it's very important. And I actually was in a Clubhouse chat, and there was a brand manager, I don't remember, but somebody was like, we don't accept contracts from influencers, which I totally get. But the benefit of having a contract template is if you do work with smaller brands, smaller companies, or even bigger brands that just are now getting into the influencer marketing space, imagine how professional and how much you can teach them by having a contract template already. So then you can provide them, hey, you know what, I'll go ahead and draft the contract and we can discuss it from there and to go over it if there's any questions, comments, and concerns. Or if you are working with a more reputable brand or a brand that has already done a lot of influencer marketing, so they have already established their contract, you can compare your contract template that I have provided specifically for influencers and with the influencer in mind and say, you know what, there's some provisions within Cameron's contract and the Creative Law Library's contract that is not in this brand collaboration contract that I'm now negotiating with. How about I copy and paste and add some of that in there? So that's just a way that you can use the contract templates that I offer, but that's pretty much it. I just wanted to put this little tidbit out there. I probably will do more videos, more like, professional sit-down videos to talk about contracts because it's so important and so looked over, I feel like. And you know what? I just love that I'm also an influencer in the space. So I do research, of course, lawyer life, I'm constantly researching because I want to make sure that I'm up on top of the brand terminology and everything that's going on in this industry. But as an influencer myself, I'm constantly engulfed in this industry because I'm creating content, I'm negotiating brand deals, and I'm also reviewing my own contracts. So I'm constantly seeing new phrases and new things, and I'm like, oh, take that out, I don't like that, let me add this to my contract template. So I'm like heavily into the industry. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, let me know. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to thumbs up this video if you enjoyed, and leave me some comments down in the comment section below. I said that like 100 times because I want to interact. Hello, y'all didn't get on live, so don't forget to share this video with your family and friends, and subscribe to my channel for more videos, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Love you guys.